Hi, I'm Maria Leone of Body and Line in Beverly Hills, and today we're going to go through an intermediate level reformer workout. My foot bar is up in the footwork position, and I recommend 3 to 4 springs to start off. I have my headrest up as well. Come onto your back. Pull those knees into your chest, and using your arms, go ahead and draw little stirring actions with the thigh bones. And I really want you to be quite hands-on here. Notice the motion of the pelvis. And now reversing it, doing that nice stirring action. Notice how the pelvis is going through that bowl-like action. Come to center. And now take the heels wide on the bar. Heels are just onto the inside of your frame. Engage the inner thighs and start pressing out and pulling in. Back out for 2. And continue to flow like this, keeping equal emphasis on the way out and the way in. So in Pilates, there's not one part of the movement that is more important for us than the other. Once we start moving, full engagement. Come into the halfway mark, pause here, and begin to take little presses up. So the feeling here as if I'm scissoring my inner thighs in towards the center of the body. So it's not a bounce, there's a feeling of being engaged throughout. Take a little scan of what you're doing with your neck and your shoulders. Let's press out all the way. Come all the way into Pilates V. On the balls of the feet for me, heels are glued, the knees are the distance of the shoulders. Pull yourself out and resist in. Continue to flow like this. Again, with that feeling of scissoring the inner thighs into the midline of the body. And now if you can have a sense that you're drawing your sit bones together. And think about doing that from an internal place as well. That internal drawing together is a cue for your pelvic floor. And it's okay if you don't know what that is, just forget about it. And just work from the inner thighs. But those of you who know that I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Last one here. All the way out, come in halfway. Let's take those little pulses again. So we're quiet in the knees. We're trying to bias the work more towards your inner thigh and your glutes. And yeah, you're going to feel it in your quads too. Pause here, and now curl your sacrum up off the mat. Ribs tight, pubic bone up, and then again, working from that glute. And this time it's going to feel as if you're pushing your thigh bone down towards the well. For 3, and 2, and 1, come in, and come all the way down. Parallel feet all the way out. Let's go right into walking, inhaling for 2 counts, exhaling for 2 counts. The ribs are staying nice and tight. Full range of motion here through the foot. And of course, you're being mindful of how those knees are tracking. Going straight up. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come all the way in. Put your headrest down. Place yourself to your heels. Hands are by your side. From here, we're going to lift straight up. And then we're going to peel down. So just a little different than we usually do. Straight up. Opening the front of the hip sockets. And then peel yourself back to the mat. And then press and peel down. Last time here, press and peel down. Press back to the top, stay, let's try this with one leg, or stay with 2 feet on the bar. 1 foot to the ceiling. We're gonna roll down like you're balancing something on the foot, and then push up. And peel on the way down, and push straight up. And peel, and push, staying very even through both sides of the back, and then push, put that foot down, take the other leg up. And we roll through the spine, and then straight up. Really notice how different that action is on the spine. So in one, we're mobilizing the spine, and in the other motion, we are stabilizing. Stay here, 2 feet to the bar, take one leg up to the ceiling, and then cross it over to a figure 4, and then just on that bottom glute, little pulses up. Breathing in and breathing out, really checking in with those hips because there's a tendency here for them to twist. 3, 2, 1, roll all the way down. Pull that leg into you. Let's take a moment or two here just to enjoy that stretch in the outer hip. Keeping the feet flexed will help protect the knee here in this shape. And then 2 feet back to the bar. Neutral bridge up. One leg to the ceiling, the other leg. Cross it over to figure 4. And then little pulses up here on that bottom side. Making sure you're not bracing too much with the arms. Feeling that action right in that crease below the glute. And then roll yourself down. Pull that bottom leg in, grab that thigh. And we're here for a couple of counts. Last time here. And up we go. So come on up, we're gonna do a spring change. We're gonna put your foot bar down and we're gonna come to 2 springs. So a heavy spring and a light spring, or a heavy spring and a medium spring. Okay, it's up to you. You know, you always have some permission to take your springs up and down. We're going back onto your back. And let's bring the headrest up. Hands into the loops and legs to tabletop. And let's lift to Joe's classic 100 position. So exhale, lift yourself up, squeeze those legs, shoulders are down. Really set that intention in that shape. Slowly lower down. Inhale here, no resting. Exhale right back up. And the legs might be quite low. They might be high, they might be tabletop. Slowly lower down. Exhale, lift back up. Stay here, pull one knee into your chest. And we do a push and a pull. Breathing in for 2. Breathing out for 2. Also an option to keep the head and shoulders down here, everybody. Keep your breath nice and full. And be aware of how you're tracking those legs. 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees in, arms up, and then bring your feet back down. Okay, we're going to add some arms to this. So legs back to tabletop. Inhale here. Exhale, lift to your 100 position, whatever it looks like. One knee in, and now we open the arms and change legs, and we exhale. Inhale, and exhale. Nice full integration with the breath and the spine. So it feels like you're moving backwards in space. Option also to have those head and shoulders down. Inhale. Exhale. Finding a connection to your lat and keeping that beautiful space between the shoulder blades and the bottom of your earlobe. Last one here. Arms up and 2 feet down. Okay, moving on. Head and shoulders down for everybody now. Let's bring your legs to tabletop and your hands by your side and stay here. From here, you're going to tap your right foot down and exhale up. Tap the other leg down and up. And we're going to begin to do alternating. So we go one side to the other side. Continue to move like this with a sense that your legs are floating in space. And draw your attention to your rib cage and your lower back. And I really want you to feel as if you're compressing your whole back into the mat. And you should have a pretty strong sensation here in your core. 2 legs to tabletop, stay here. Now begin to bend and stretch the elbows. And remember, you've chosen your tension. So you might need to go up a little bit, you might need to come down a little bit. We're gonna add those alternating legs here. And if that gives you too much confusion, just do the arms. And then I invite you to focus on the breath. Keeping everything with that nice integration. Last one. Knees in, and let's come all the way in. Okay, up we go. Let's come down to a heavy spring or maybe a medium spring. So I have my machine on 1 red, face the back. Let's do a quick cat-cow. So hands go right under the shoulders, knees right under the hips. Start with that beautiful neutral position in your spine, and then round your back as fully as you can. Push the shin bones down. Inhale, open the heart. Heart pulls forward. And again, rounding the back. Should feel really nice. Inhale, opening the chest. And last time, rounding the back. Stay here. And now begin to pull the carriage in and out. You're going to feel like you're pulling in with the pubic bone. Pubic bone pulls in faster than the knees. Take a moment, lift one hand to the ceiling, take a little spiral stretch. Whatever feels good works for me. And then change sides, push down through that bottom hand, and rotate up. And again, whatever feels good works for me. Come back down. We're going to do a second set. Many of you are going to curl your toes under. And you're going to do this second set with your knees off. So knees float, and then pulling the carriage in. So yeah, it's noticeably more challenging. So maybe you'll just do 2 or 3. Maybe you'll do the whole set. Maybe you'll just lift the knees up and down for a second to feel it and opt out. That's fine too. Moving from the center of the body. 3, 2, 1, and lowering down. Let's bring the headrest down. The legs are going to come straight in front of you. We're going to have, this is a rule I use a lot, about 5 fingers behind you. Sit yourself up nice and tall, and arms are here at the height of the shoulder. From here, curl your tailbone under without compressing. So I'm not slouching, I'm pulling my tail under. Maintain the length through the crown of the head, and let's begin a bicep curl. So we're exhaling up and inhaling to open. And then remembering here that we have equal emphasis on each phase of the action here. So we feel that concentric and we feel that eccentric contraction as well. Some of you need a little bit more weight, so you'll go to pulling just one arm and then the other arm. So alternating is an option, or the most strengthening would be to stay on one side. So about 5 on each side in a row, or you're alternating, or you're working just with the 2 arms. You do need to know how to count, and I need to know how to count and talk at the same time. But I'm a master trainer, so I got that down. We have 2 more on this side. Last time. Excellent. Sit up nice and tall. Bring the loops up over the elbows. Be beautifully tall here, right? So not forward, not in that arch. Really drawing the belly button in and up. Spine is long. And then pressing the elbows back. And so what I really want you to feel here is the back of your shoulder in between your shoulder blades. It's helpful for me to point my thumb straight back to that wall. And it's very easy here for the body to kind of lean back with you, which takes a lot of the load away. So really focus on what is moving. And And I want you to feel just your shoulder blades sliding in towards the midline or in towards your spine, and your upper arm floating backwards. For 2, and 1, and let's go ahead and stretch forward. Grab the toes, drop the shoulders. Take a deep breath into the back and the sides of the body. Let's put the ropes down. Bring your hands here by your side. And you're in a cat shape, so that nice C shape. Push down through your hands and lift yourself up, maintaining that cat position, and lower down. And again, exhale and lift. Shoulders out of the ears. And lower. And again, lift. And lower. And last time, lift and lower. So that's our little tendon stretch prep. From here, bend your knees. Bring your hands and flip them the opposite direction. Your feet are right onto your headrest. Puff up your chest. Step into your feet and lift your hips up. Squeeze your glute. I don't want your head to drop back. So you're kind of looking towards the ceiling. And lower it back down. And again, step into your feet. Squeeze your inner thighs. Point your pubic bone up to the ceiling. Push with the arms more. Use those rhomboids that we just discovered. And have a seat down. One more like this. And lift yourself out and up. Draw those shoulder heads back. And have a seat. Bring your feet to butterfly position. Grab your ankles. And then pull your belly button towards your feet. So the spine is more or less straight. Shoulders are out of your ears. A lot of focus here again on the upper back. That's where we tend to round forward as we age. So we're always thinking about strengthening that upper back in our Pilates practice. Just turn your face forward. I'm going to take a spring change down to a medium spring. Again, you're welcome to stay on a heavy spring if that works for you. We're going to put a couple of elements together. So, also an option to stay here on the knees if you'd like. It is a little bit more challenging to come up onto your knees. Hands are here by your waist, shoulder heads are back. We're going to serve a tray. So the arms push out, that's an exhale, and an inhale to come in. Exhale out, and inhale in. 2 more here. Getting tall from the crown of the head. Really feeling that the shoulder blades are more or less staying in place. Stay here. Now, we take a little feeling of a squat. So we bend our knees, we squat down, and we come forward and up. Inhale down. Hips to arm. And now smooth this all out. Hips to arm. Inhale and exhale, really using the hips for your power. So the arms don't do all of the work. The first third of this is down from the legs and the glutes. We're going to add on this time or continue like that. So we come up. From here, we inhale, we open. We exhale, we come back to where we were. Maybe the pinkies touch. And inhale down. So we exhale. Inhale, nice steady pace. Exhale. And inhale, work this part of the exercise. Exhale, you're vertical. Inhale, get taller. Exhale, maybe your pinkies touch, maybe not. Inhale, almost done. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale. Very nice. Okay, let's turn and face the back. Machine's a little loose, so careful. One arm at a time now. So you're gonna back yourself up. My rope is a little twisted, I'm gonna untwist it. Bring one hand up to the height of the shoulder, the other hand comes under it. So this hand is like making a little ledge. Make sure you're nice and parallel with your hips. And we're gonna do a bicep curl here. And again, controlling the up and the down. Go ahead and change your spring if you need to, if you need it heavier, if you need it lighter. Try to stay vertical. You might feel like you need to hinge ever so slightly back. That's okay. It's going to depend on the tension you have. And also where your pulleys are on the other side of the machine. Those of you that know about that kind of stuff. Come all the way up. Put your hand on your hip. And now a single arm tricep. Like you're running your fingers right along the edge of the carriage. And then an option for some of you to add a rotation here. Maybe yes, maybe no. For you. You gotta determine if that's something that feels good for you today. It does bring a little bit more challenge to what we're doing. Crown of the head always heading up. Last time. And let's go to the other side. So confession, I really did lose my count, but that felt right, okay? And here we go, bicep curl. So I think Pilates instructors kind of have this built-in rep sense where we can just kind of feel when the same amount of time has passed. Squeeze and squeeze. Really keep your focus on where you are in your body. Keeping that shoulder girdle down. Last one here. Hand on the hip. And now pressing that arm straight back and straight in. And we're trying to maintain this open position here at the shoulder, guys. I don't want this shoulder head turning in like that, okay? So the arm can really only go so far back. And then maybe you decide to add that rotation. Let the head turn as well. Look over that shoulder. Control the out phase, control the in phase. Last one here. And come all the way down. Okay, bring your headrest up. Turn around. We're going to go into a traditional series. 2 heavy springs is traditionally what is done. I like to bring the foot bar up. It's just a habit that I use with my clients so that they can get into the loops easily. So this is known as feet and straps. For some people it's called frog series. Push yourself out. Put one foot in with that knee bend so I have control of the machine. The other foot comes in. The feet are turned out. And from here, push and pull. So it's very, very similar to your footwork. The difference here is that this is more of a open chain environment. So there's a lot more stabilization that needs to be done throughout your ankles, your knees, your hips in order to achieve this action. Keep drawing those heels in. Make sure the tail is staying down. 2 more here. And press out. So that's pretty traditional. Keep the turnout in the legs. Also okay to be parallel. Take those legs up. We're looking for a hip hinge. You determine how far you can go, and then from the back of the leg, push straight down and squeeze the inner thighs. The legs come up, and the legs press down. So no lower than the foot bar, please. Inhale on the up, and exhale to go down. And inhale to come up, and exhale to go down. We're going to add a little pattern. So the legs go up, the legs go down, stay here, Open the legs as wide as you'd like and pull close. That's the whole thing. So we inhale, we exhale, pushing from the back of the leg. We inhale, we open. I'm going to run into the wall and exhale, close. Continue like this on your own, and you can move at tempo with me. You can go slower. You can go faster. We're looking for a connection to your body, to your breath, as if you're moving through thick mud the whole time. Last time. And now let's do a little experiment. I want you to really understand what the role is of those ropes. So get rid of the ropes. We're going to do the same action here. So take the legs back up, squeeze the legs. Lower the legs down. You'll notice they won't make it so far. Ooh, I'm messing up. Start from the up. Take the legs down. We open, we close. The legs come up. The legs go down. Very different sensation now, right? And close. And your range of motion is probably going to be smaller now because you do not have the support of the ropes. Front ribs to back ribs, everybody. Last one here. And let's pull the knees into the chest. Roll yourself up. We're going to go to a favorite exercise of mine called scooter. It is not traditional. Put your machine on a heavy spring, maybe a heavy spring and a light spring together. And here's how I like to set up scooter. Okay, so one leg behind the other, both knees soft, ideally just one hand on. We're going to work with the back straight, pushing through that heel all the way out and all the way in. Continue like this. Now I'm only 5'1", so my knee is just going to graze that carriage a bit as my leg goes out and in. For most of you, the knee will never touch the carriage. For some of you, you might need it a little heavier. So I have this on one heavy spring. It's a little light, but that's fine for me today. Shoulders are out of the ears, and you can always make this more challenging by really minimizing this hand on the foot bar. And let's stay in. Okay, next position a little awkward. You're going over to the other shoulder block and you're lifting that knee up. And now you're pushing back, your heel reaches to that back edge of that reformer and in. And press. And in. This is a little bit harder. Because now we're targeting more of the external rotators of the hip in addition to the glute med. Smooth and steady. Make sure you aren't getting sloppy and allowing that carriage just to come in on its own. Check in with the alignment of the head. Okay, last set. That heel comes in close now. Make sure that your hips are in the same orientation and then pushing out and in. So very similar to the first set of this that we did, but the thigh bone is going to maintain an external rotation. And then check in with the angle of your knee and the angle of your foot. So we're always thinking about alignment in Pilates. You want to make sure that knee to foot is in good line. By now you're probably noticing that you have a lot of the work on the standing leg. That's your glute med over there, and it's working really hard to keep you still. And let's come up and over to the other side. So, one leg behind the other, the back is flat. You aren't leaning on your hands. You're light on the hand and then pushing out and controlling it in. Connecting to your breath. Staying nice and smooth and steady here. Really Really controlling the in. Stay with me, don't start crashing that reformer into the bumper. Control and control. And now we open up, the knee lifts, and then we push out and in. And if you need to have the support of 2 hands on the foot bar, that's fine. Ideally, just 1 hand. Ideally, the hips are pointed down. Straight down. Your 2 hip points are pointed straight down to the ground. Controlling each way. Really getting that carriage in all the way each time before you push. Last one. And now bring that foot in close. Last set. And out and in. And again, if you need the 2 hands on, I'm going to keep my 2 hands on. 2 hands or 1 hand. My outside glute meat is just like on fire. So I'm going to give myself a little break today and put my hand down. Keep your breath smooth and steady. Keep your focus. Last time, everybody. Come on in. Add a red spring. So we have 2 heavy springs on. We're going to go traditional elephant. So the heels are back against the shoulder blocks. And we're going to do it with a flat back. So for those of you that have a yoga practice, it's going to feel kind of downward doggy. Shoulder blades are wide. And now the motion comes from the hip socket. So it shouldn't feel like you're pushing with your arms at all. And in fact, the arms should feel like they're pushing the foot bar away from you. So you're pushing the foot bar away and the carriage away at the same time. 2 more here. Stay in this, take a little soft. So 1 hand reaches across to the opposite ankle. Turn the chest. Maybe you bend that opposite knee, and that's going to enable you to pull that hip back a little further. Breathe into that top lung. Find something that feels good on your body. And then across to the other side, the legs can stay straight. Or you can bend the opposite knee. It should make sense when you bend the knee. Breathe into that top lung. And let's come down. We're going to take your foot bars down all the way. And then option to be on a very light spring. So either the lightest spring you have or no spring. I'm going to go with no spring. Bring your hands to your frame. If you have no spring, move very cautiously. So we're going to come into half of a push-up position. So a straight line from the crown of the knees, crown of the head to the knees. And make sure you aren't sagging at all in that back. Spin the biceps forward. Inhale, push the carriage out any amount. Let's make it small, the first one. And now exhale, come in. Let's do that again. Maybe a little bit bigger, maybe not. Inhale out. Pay attention to the lower back. And exhale in. And inhale out. Notice you get lower towards the ground the further out you go. Last one here, inhale out. Exhale in, everybody stay here. Carriage doesn't move. Open the elbows, come down and come up. Inhale down, I don't care how low you go. Exhale up. Inhale. Exhale. not in chaturanga position today. I'm letting the elbows open to the side. Last one here. Inhale and exhale, and then bring yourself into a child's pose. Spread the shoulder blades. Maybe the knees are slightly open. Feel the breath going into the back and the sides of your rib cage. If you have a spring on, take that spring off and step forward down into the well. From here, we're going to just bend that front knee. The back knee is supported on the carriage. The hands can be pretty much wherever you'd like them to be. I just want you to experience a nice opening in that hip socket. And you might be up pretty straight, you might decide to be more forward. From here, either hand you choose, reach around and catch the foot. And then maybe you pull the heel in close, maybe you drop the hip down into the well. It's up to you. Try to find something that you can relax into. And let's come in and change sides. Staying mindful as you change. And coming straight down. Enjoying that opening of the hip. Sending breath to the body where it needs it. Maybe you reach around and you catch a foot, maybe not. Maybe this side is a little different than the other side. Maybe this side has to do something a little bit different. Listen to what your body needs and then take it there. Come all the way in and have a seat on your machine. You can be flat-footed, you can be cross-legged. Let's do index fingers and thumbs, either down or up. Close your eyes. Nothing real fancy here. Just want you to focus on your breath. Not manipulating it at all, but just focusing on it. Noticing the change in your energy from when you began. Feeling of being grounded and energized. And this is what brings us back to our Pilates practice. This feeling of integration of mind, body, and spirit. Let's take one last deep breath in together. And a long, slow exhale out through the mouth. And then slowly allow your eyes to flutter open. Thank you for joining me today, everybody. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet already. There'll be lots more of these coming up soon. Also, you know you can join me live stream at my studio, right? Go to the website, sign up for a virtual class, and I'll be able to see you. Also, lots of workouts available at Pilates Anytime. Use my last name for 30 days free. See y'all.